Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode here on the Hermitcraft server. This is where I logged out after our live stream the other day. What a terrific live stream it was. For those of you that saw it, you'll know that we got up to some real shenanigans, me and Python. He is the newest member here on the Hermitcraft server. If you didn't know about that, there'll be a link down there to his channel. Be sure to go over and subscribe to him. He's going to be making awesome Hermitcraft videos over here. And I got a story to tell because on this live stream, Biffa started hunting us down. He was in chat along with Biffa's mum, who's been a regular on the stream. It's not actually Biffa's mum, just someone who's set up a Twitter account and makes funny remarks in the live streams. Things like that. You know what it's like when people in the community get involved. So we ended up over here and we had a fight, and Python actually managed to kill Biffa with little help from me because I was knocked down to a couple of hearts as we came through the portal. So I should probably walk you through it. We were at my base for ages. Biffa didn't come over, so we headed over to his and he ambushed us. And he got me down to a couple of hearts. As I was running around the back here, Python managed to kill him. And then between the two of us, we sort of saw where he was respawning. There's a creeper in a hole. Let's kill it quick. And we managed to lock him in this little room over here. And unfortunately, I lost my bow during all of this. So that's something that I got to go and get back. But we locked him in his little room over here and kept killing him. We called it a Biffa farm. And of course, you know, it's all good fun. Biffa wouldn't mind. It's all just a laugh, really. And I got 6 of his heads right here, which is ridiculous. And then he broke his own bed, which we didn't notice, and he went back to spawn. And then we had like a second duel, and he killed both me and Python. So it was all good fun. Terrific stuff with the head games. And it was a lot of fun. But that's why we're over here. And anyway, this episode today is going to be a bit difficult for me to record. I am having some serious hardware issues on my computer right now. You wouldn't believe it. You know, you fix one thing and something else breaks. My hard drive that stores most of my data, all of my video files and things that I need to record them, is like having a really bad time at the moment. It can even blue screen the computer if I access the wrong files from it. So something is horrendously wrong and it needs fixing. And I'm waiting for a new hard drive to arrive so I can then start copying files over, and I'm expecting a lot of downtime because of this, so I'm recording well in advance. I haven't seen the response to the prank in the last episode yet, which is unfortunate. I love seeing the response and then talking about it, but I'm sure you guys would have loved that, so I don't think I really need to do anything here. But head back to the base. So in this episode what we're going to do is a little bit of test world working. My plan was, hey, let's get this thing finished, let's go into a test world, figure out the solution to this and then build it on here. But because a lot of my time is going to go into fixing my computer and sorting out all of the data, then I think what I'll do is actually make an episode out of it. And it's nice to do that because from time to time doing a little bit of test world, figuring things out and coming up with a contraption is always good. So that's what we're going to do today. And before we do that, I also wanted to have a tiny chat about things that are changing here on the channel. Some of you may have noticed out of nowhere I just started uploading Infinifactory, and then the following week I've been playing Snakebird, and I've got more games on my list. I decided that with some of my free time what I want to do is actually record the other games that I do play, which I don't really actually get too much time, but if I'm making videos for it then I can dedicate a little bit more time, and it feels really good to do. You know, I've been playing Minecraft for years and years, and it's nice to play other games on the side, and I just want to kind of share that with you all now. So you'll see more games from me on a regular and frequent basis, and if you haven't checked out Snakebird, be sure to do so. A lot of people told me that game looked really childish, and then they went and checked it out and realised that it was a puzzle game, it was a lot of fun, and that was just the theme. So yeah, it may look a little bit childish in the thumbnails, but actually it's just a puzzle game with like a really nice, pleasing aesthetic that obviously kids would like, and it's so much fun. I love puzzle games, I love scratching my brain trying to solve problems, and been having tremendous fun, yeah, playing that. So if you're interested in it, be sure to go and check it out. And by the way, I'm repairing this because during the live stream, when Biffa came over here, on all my days, what did I do? When we thought he was following us, he didn't actually come over here. We decided to trap this thing because in the latest versions of Minecraft, if you didn't know, and I'll actually show you, when you come through a portal, it puts you on the other side, not standing here on the obsidian, but on the block over, and it'll even put you above air blocks. So look where I've respawned, right here, and we can do the same thing on the other side. So at the moment we drop down onto ladders, which is fine, but But yeah, you can use it as a trap, I guess. So what I did in the live stream is I put the buckets of lava down here, and I managed to actually fall into the lava as I was placing it, which is pretty hilarious. And if you haven't seen any of the live streams and you want to catch that stuff, they're all uploaded to my second channel. I'll plug that as well. There'll be a link down there in the description box if you're interested in seeing those. So we've had a little bit of a natter, and now I'm going to hop over to the plot world. We're going to go and figure out our problem in the Nether with our tunnel and find a solution and get this thing up and running. Alright, we're actually going to skip the whole going through things in a test world because I've had a messy few days, let's put it like that. It's a couple of days since I recorded the last clip and I have had computer troubles like you wouldn't even know. And it's been really stressful, and in between sort of fixing them I managed to figure out what we're going to do here. It's actually going to be a really cool little system. And we're going to run this track around the corner. Now what I'm going to build right here isn't really exact. We're going to come over by 4 blocks, and then at the end here we're going to have sand and cactus. So we're going to break the minecart and pick it up with a hopper. That's then going to go all the way over to the other side and put it into a dispenser for us. So over here we'll have the simple system that you've seen time and time again. You step on a pressure plate, it dispenses a minecart, and then a moment later it powers it so it can go on its way. And then that means we don't have 2 minecarts sitting on the track at any time, but when you head from one end to the other, you're going to bring the minecart down there for use on the other side to come back here. And of course we'll have like a stockpile of minecarts at either end. So this is pretty much like the same dealio. You can go in either direction, except multiple people can use the line at the same time, which is pretty cool. And we should also be able to make the entire thing spawn proof. So this floor right here might disappear. And one of the things we got to do as we head back down here is actually pick up all of the redstone, and that's kind of annoying that as you run and sprint some of it falls behind you, so you've got to keep turning around making sure you've gotten all of it. But yes, this is now completely useless, and this was just one of those incidences once again where I didn't quite have the time to prepare as much as I would have liked, and it's just been like that so much lately. It's been really crazy. But anyway, I wanted to tell you about my computer troubles. So I had a faulty hard disk, something had gone wrong with it, and I would try to access a file, that being one of the videos that I needed to upload to YouTube. So I was scratching my head as to why every time I try to upload this video my computer crashes, which is really odd, even on different browsers, things like that. Eventually I found out that what it was, oh that's part of the, yes, that redstone. We don't want to destroy that stuff, and we're just taking apart all of this that we've built. So what I found out that it was is that the computer was hanging because the hard disk wasn't giving it a response, which sounds like something that shouldn't actually make it crash. You'd think the computer would know how to handle that, but no, it caused it to blue screen. I was very worried. I also noticed that more and more parts of the hard drive were corrupting. So for the last week or so I've been using a hard drive where I've had to avoid using it as much as possible, and it has all of my stuff for YouTube on. So until I got a replacement through, I was kind of stuffed using it, and it was kind of stressful, and now it's all over. And at the time I was dead sure I was going to lose a lot of important information. Turns out I managed to recover absolutely everything from it, and get all the data onto a new drive, which I ordered off the internet. So that's not the whole story. Another part of the story is that when I was installing the drive, my computer wouldn't turn back on. So at first it would boot on and it would go into the Windows loading screen, and then it would just hang there for ages. So I ran Windows Repair. That couldn't fix it. It told me it didn't know what was wrong with the computer and didn't know how to fix it. So I was starting to get real worried and upset. And then what happened? I took out my second graphics card because one of the hard drives wasn't registering, so I had to reconnect all of the ports, or whatever you want to call them, the SATA things. And then it wouldn't boot at all. And I mean, I turned on the computer, it appeared to be on, but there was no BIOS screen, and my my mouse and keyboard didn't turn on at all. And that was very, very stressful, because that's a bad situation to be in. Nothing was turning on, and I couldn't even get to the BIOS. You got troubles if you can't get to the BIOS. If you don't know what it is, it's like the very basic level system for your computer, I guess you could say. If your BIOS isn't working, then you got a world of problems. Right, let's go back and get all of this redstone out of the way. Obviously, we're tearing all of this up so I can tell you what's happened and get ready to do the next bit. Did we leave a bit of redstone back there? We did. Yeah, so what I did is I Is my inventory full? No, we picked it up. Yeah, I put my card back in after I checked that all of the cables for the hard drives were connected properly, which they were. And then when I put it back in and loaded it up, it just went straight into Windows and all of my problems sort of disappeared. And I'm not really sure what exactly I did apart from reconnect a few hard drives. So now I'm just like, I don't want to open that thing up and touch it again at all. And it looks like our inventory is full. There's probably not something we're going to chuck away here because most of this is stuff that we need to build the little contraption. So yes, it's been, once again, pretty crazy with the computer problems. I'm just going to put these down right here. That's my way of storing them. Then we can go get that redstone. So it's all over now, thank God. And I've got another hard drive in there that's going to be for Windows 10. Do we put a powered rail on the end here? I think we do actually. And so I'm going to move away from Windows 7 when Windows 10 comes out, and because I've got two drives I should hopefully be able to do a dual boot, which is where you have two operating systems and you can switch between them, and then move all my stuff over to Windows 10. And I'm hoping Windows 10 is going to be a little bit more stable and reliable than Windows 7, which has actually been really good. So I'm hoping over time we'll phase out the computer problems. It's quite optimistic, but there you go. So we're going to power these rails like that, because if we power the block below them, then they're going to power the hoppers, which is exactly why these aren't redstone blocks, because we don't want to lock the hoppers. So when a minecart comes around from this side, it's just going to go straight through onto there, and that's going to then put the minecart down below into these. So because of other things going on this week, this episode's come out later. There wouldn't have been a Tuesday episode if everything goes to plan, and that means I've got a little bit more time actually to spend on this episode. So I plan on doing some more maintenance here in the tunnel. I think I'm going to fill all of these sides up right here with purple glass so that no pigmen can spawn, and then there's going to be very little spawnable spaces, but at either end we've got all this on the ground, so we might change it over for something else. If we do that, it means it'll be hard to power this, because we'd have to put, I guess, a half slab here. We couldn't just replace it with glass or something like that, but as of right now we're just going to focus on this little contraption, because I don't know when we're going to get to that bit. And I was worried about these connecting. I think I showed you that in the last episode we worked on this. Looks like that's not going to be a problem, because when it's already curving off to the side, it's not going to change the connection when you put the next one down, which is cool. So what I've done differently from what I did in my test world or on my plot world server is I moved this over by one block so it's hidden in the wall, which I think looks a lot better. Also, the reason I picked that up is to see what it looks like. Do I have a minecart? That would have been a good thing to bring. We could have done a little test right there, but whatever. Over on this side though, I don't think we want it to go all the way over to the wall like that, because you need to be able to stand in. And do you know what? Wouldn't it make more sense to have... Yeah, we should swap this around. We should have it so that the entrance is on this side, and then the way you get off is on this one. Actually, it probably wouldn't make any difference, would it? Because let's say you want to go somewhere, you come out of the portal, it's right next to where you are, but when you get back, you're further away from it. And it's just the same thing in reverse. So then when you're travelling back here, you end up being close to the portal. Okay, yeah, we're not going to do that then. But around here is where the next bit of redstone is going to go. What we're going to do is put a comparator somewhere down here. And I'll probably rebuild this with some blocks underneath it. And then when the item comes through the hopper, it's going to go into a dropper, but it's going to create a redstone signal that will then power the rest of all of this. So I'm just going to build that quickly. And that's not spam proof, by the way, but I don't think there's going to be a situation where you have two minecarts coming down in quick succession. Looks like we might be going back to the test world after all. What I've designed works slightly different in Bucket from Vanilla. And yeah, here's the problem. Let me show you. So when the minecart comes through, it actually sends it all the way up and dispenses it, which is interesting. That might actually be a directional thing, because it powers this block, which has the item in it, which goes into the one above, which also gets powered because of this one. But it must go up there before this one registers as being powered, because then it dispenses the item. And at first I thought, oh, that's a good thing though, because it'll always be sitting on the tracks ready. But if another one comes down, then you'll end up with two on there. And also when you stand on here, I realised that it was supposed to just power the dispenser, but it also powers the dropper as well. So I don't think that's going to work, and you can see there that we've got two minecarts. Okay, here it is on the plot world. This is the entire contraption, and actually looking at it, I think it's going to be really simple. So we want this to just power the dropper below. So if we hit the block below it, it'll only power the dropper. So actually I think we want that block there so we can transfer the signal downwards, like so. And we probably need a little bit of a delay, so we'll keep the repeater in there. So that's going to power the dropper after the minecart goes into it. It's going to put it in the dispenser. So now when we stand on this pressure plate, the signal is going to go around to the side. But the thing is, here it's only going to be powering the powered rail. We also want it to do the dispenser. We power this block right here, then it's going to hit the dispenser, and we can do that like that. So this block, when we stand on the pressure plate, is going to power the redstone. That means the dispenser gets powered first, then moments later the powered rail gets powered. And as far as I can tell, that should work exactly as we want it to. So let's go build it on Hermitcraft, and we'll probably find there's something wrong with it. That seemed to do the trick, and as far as I can tell, this is done. So let's go stand on the pressure plate. Up in the minecart, off we go again. We didn't get a second minecart. Now occasionally, when I say occasionally, I actually mean once. I haven't tested this thing out too much, but one time I got 2 minecarts and I was scratching my head as to why that was, and it was down this end that it happened actually, so maybe something is different. But there we go. One of the problems we do have is minecart storage. Because of the way I've wired up the redstone, if ever this gets full, then we've got a little bit of a problem. So I've decided to keep 7 in each, but if someone takes a trip down here, and let's say like 2 people take a trip down here and I'm at my base, then this thing's going to fill up, and it might cause a little bit of a problem. But we'll see how it goes. So let's stand on this one, and that time we got 2. Why did we get 2 on that end? Look, you saw it, I saw it, I definitely saw it. There were 2. And why that is, also that trapdoor got activated, didn't it? I could hear that. So something must be wrong with the redstone. I'm going to tear this apart and have a quick look. But otherwise, you know, if I figure it out or not, what we're going to do next is go get some carpet over at the sheep farm so we can finish that off. I'm also going to try and get my bow as well, because we lost that and I want to get my good bow back as well. And I'll probably do some maintenance. So I kind of plan on, like, the next time I'm recording, having a whole bunch of things done. But let's see if we can find the problem here first of all. I think I sussed it out. It's this one right here was on that setting, the default. If we put it on the 4th, it means this block's going to be powered for slightly longer, which I think then means when this one's powered, the dispenser can't be powered again. So how many do we have in there? We've got 4 in total, and there you can see only 1 got dispensed, so problem solved. Alright, pretty much everything here in the tunnel is done now, except for that. I'm not sure about changing out these floors for other materials. I was thinking we could put down some glass or something that the mobs wouldn't spawn on, but then some of the blocks do need to be solid, like the ones that are powered and these ones over here. So we'll probably just leave it for now and see if the pigmen interfere with this at all, because a moment ago when I was travelling down here, a minecart came down, and when I got to the end there was nothing over here, so I don't know if it was a pigman. It didn't wander into the tunnel. Yeah, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. And if we did make all of this spawn proof as well, it'd still be able to spawn on the pressure plate itself, which would be an interesting one. But anyway, I have done, let's see, the glass down the sides here. This thing, you know, the minecart bit works. We've put the carpets on the entire tracks, and I've gone and got myself a new bow. So I was thinking about putting flame on that one, but I decided against it. But it's got infinity, and it's pretty good. So let's ride this thing down to the other end. And in between doing all of this, I also turned off the computer and went for a walk. You know, I like to get in some exercise every day. Chose to go for a walk today, and when I came back, the computer wouldn't turn on. Now, when I say that, it turns on, but the keyboard and mouse don't fire up, and nothing comes on the screen. Now, I was a little bit impatient and started restarting it, trying to get it to work, unplugging things and plugging things back in. And then I sort of gave up, and I was on Twitter talking about it, and that's when I noticed that after a while the computer had actually sorted itself out and got into the BIOS, and I get this message saying that the overclocking of the CPU failed. And the thing is, I don't overclock my CPU, and it's really worrying, and it's just another stress on my mind, because I've got a feeling every now and then I'm going to load up the computer and it's going to not load for a while. But it does seem like if you leave it running, eventually it gets there after 5 minutes or so. So it's not nice to have these sorts of problems. What's worse is they're very difficult to diagnose and figure out. I mean, I haven't the slightest. I did a little bit of Googling, and there wasn't anything too relevant, because, you know, if you've just like put in, let's say, a new piece of hardware, sort of like I've done in some respect, and then you have an issue with it, you can usually find a solution. Whereas if it's like computer won't turn on, then it could be a whole range of things, and it shouldn't in theory be the new hardware. But I don't know, something strange has happened. And what did I come back here for? A little bit of clay. We just need to patch up that wall, don't we? So this sign's been here for a long time, and the entire time that it's been here I've never really paid attention to it. I've always seen it there, always opened this chest, like, you know, navigating past the sign. But it never clocked on that I wasn't the one that put it there. And it says, I owe you 6 jungle planks from Zul'jin. It amuses me that I don't notice things like that. That's been there for a really long time. And at no point did I think, oh, I didn't place that sign down. Alright, we are going to do something right now that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and that is create myself a banner to go on this board over here. Now, I was also going to do one for Hypno as well. I cannot find the tweet, or maybe it was a comment that someone sent me with a really awesome Hypno banner design. So if you're watching, or you want to put on your cap and try and make a banner, then we need one for Hypno over here. Someone sent me a terrific one which I really wanted to use, and I thought I bookmarked it, but apparently not. Anyway, we're going to craft these together because the two designs that we have are really, really cool. So I want to first of all say thanks to AngryK9. He tweeted some designs at me. They're not the ones that I'm actually going to end up using, though. His ones are really cool as well. The ones we're going to use were made by Alex Pipir, I do believe is his name. And he sent me these on Twitter, and they're just really, really awesome. So are AngryK9's as well. It's kind of torn between the two. But let's go through this. So to craft an Itsuma looking fella on a banner, you want to go like this, and then put in your dark grey. Is that just regular grey? I think that's the right one, isn't it? Because that's a grey banner. Okay. I always get confused. I expect it to say dark grey, whereas you have light grey, don't you? And then just regular grey. Okay, so that one comes next. Then we need a trim of blue across the top, and then a trim of blue all around, followed by a trim of green at the bottom, and you can probably see it starting to come together now, and the finishing touch is to put in that light grey, and by doing so we've created a fella who looks like me, or my avatar, however you want to put it. And let's go check this out. So let's put it up here on the wall. Actually, I want it to kind of look even at the moment, so I'll put it over there, and look, it looks just like me. Let's go stand next to it, take off the clothes here a little bit. Oh, that is so awesome. That looks really, really good. I love it. And I think anyone else who's coming on here and sees that will probably know that that's me. So I'm really happy with how that one's turned out. And there's one more design we're going to do as well. So let's go back over here. It uses the grey banner as well. This one uses a wither skull. So I'm really glad that you can clone these, because otherwise they've become quite expensive. So we're sort of doing the same thing again, except after we put in the light blue, we're going to... Oh, did I want to do this with light blue? I think I actually wanted to do this entirely different. Okay, it's a good thing I remembered that right now. So my colours are green, purple, and dark grey. So what we actually want to do is go with green at the top and the bottom, and then green all around. And then the last thing we're going to do is use that wither skull with a grey dye. And it kind of goes with the banner here. So let's clone that one. Clone it 3 times for now. And let's have a look at this one as well. So, that's the other design. A little bit more evil and mean looking, but ever so cool. I really do like it. Thanks for that, Alex, by the way. You came up with a whole bunch of really cool designs, and I liked all of them, but they're the two we're going to use. So I'll put the sign down in a moment. For now, what we want to do is go put these in their places. Do I have some blocks that we can temporarily build with? Kind of. Let's see, this will do right here. Just pillar up, and we're going to put it in the middle. You see there's a gap right here, which works out just nice. There you go. And I'll repair all of this later on. So then you're going to know to come down here. I don't think we really need to use another one of these, but what we'll do is put one... that's the wrong one. We'll put the correct one over on this side, and on that side as well. And actually, I think that probably needs to be a couple of blocks higher for it to look right. So how's that? I'm going to put them over by 1. I kind of really like the purple. I don't like the way it breaks it up. Right, so one on that side, one on this side over here. And that looks really cool. I like it. That's the finishing touch right there. If we go down below, we've got 2 of these banners as well. What I was thinking we could do, and I'm actually going to clone the other 2 so we have these at either end, is just sort of have them in the area. Whereabouts, I'm not too sure, but for now, let's put one there. Actually a little bit higher, I reckon. And I managed to place it at the exact same height. Ridiculous. I think one of them got picked up by the hopper down below. That would be typical. Let's see what's in here. Nope. Apparently this is full as well. It shouldn't be full yet. Did I just lose one of these? Oh no, there it is. Okay. Strange stuff. Alright. So we've got more of these than I thought we had initially. so we can put another 2 down the other end. They kind of look alright. I feel like maybe that's not the bit. And look, you just set off the minecart. What are you doing, guy? I could whack him. In fact, I can whack him. There you go. He's one-hit kill. So he's not going to aggravate his friends. And that reminds me, I have left my sounds off except just the hostile ones. I get so many comments about that when I go up to the gold farm. Just turn down your hostile sounds. And now it's sort of embedded in my mind, except I don't remember to change it back. Anyway, we're going to put 2 more of these down the end here. And then I think we're going to call it a day. Alright, to end the episode, we're going to have a little chat about what's going on over here at the base. We kind of got off to a flying start, did a few cool projects, and then things kind of slowed down a little bit. The reason why is because of the storage down there. I've been waiting on a design from someone else that's going to be perfect for what we have down here. My original plan was not to automate anything at all, which would have been a really bad idea. And then I saw what Tango had come up with, and it was kind of perfect. However, it didn't quite work with this down here. So we're sort of waiting on a design. There are a few alternatives out there that I could go with, but once we get a design in place for the storage down here, you know, the automation of putting away items, being able to find things easily, that's going to make things a lot easier for us. Because at the moment, all of my stuff is sort of between places in random chests, disorganized, and it means whenever I want to do something, I got to spend a lot of time rummaging in chests. For example, to get these dyes together, you know, if we had it all organized, I could go to one chest, get everything I need, walk away. But no, I went back and forth over the Hermit Hills, into the Nether, where I've got some storage there as well, and storage here. It's all over the place at the moment. It's not very good. It's slowing things down. And so that's kind of my priority, but we are waiting to get that sorted out. So sooner or later, we'll have our storage up and online, and we'll get back to working here on the base. But anyway, that's going to be it from me this episode. If you have enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like on the video. It makes a big difference, and I do appreciate it when you guys do that for me. Your support is tremendous. Been really enjoying Hermitcraft lately, and it's only going to get better. We got that episode 400 around the corner. Don't think that I've forgotten about that. Hype. A little bit of hype going on right there. Oh, you're going to like it, trust me. But anyway, that's it from me this episode. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.